Hey YouTube, Longwayspers975. This is a response to one of my favourite YouTubers, Bluetonic78, Alex. He did one of his Wednesday week videos, and he's talking about the state of current gen games. And that he maybe be getting a little bit disillusioned with it, and is anyone else. You know, he lists his reasons, the fact that the companies want to fleece you all the time, they're just maximing out their profits all the time, trash talking online, stuff like that. The fact that it's feeling a little sour, and I just had to make my points on this. This is an absolutely brilliant video. I was going to do this tomorrow, but you know what? It's 10 to 3 in the morning, but I thought bollocks to it. I'm going to do it now. I have never sat down and watched a video and actually made notes. Seriously. He touched on so many great things in this. And a lot of it, when I first watched it, I'm like, nah. And then I gradually found myself going, yep. And it's quite sad, really. No, his video is awesome. I think gaming's hit a point where something's died, or something's gone, or something special may not be there anymore. So he talks about, is it because he's in his 30s and he's too old for gaming? I disagree with that, Alex. I completely disagree with that. I'm in my 30s. I'm older than you. When people look at people in their 30s and go, ha, you're old, I think they forget one thing. I think they forget that we grew up in the perfect time of gaming. We didn't necessarily see the industry begin, but we definitely got on top of the roller coaster, a couple of weeks in and got to ride it. So I have such fond memories of old school systems, like such fond memories, Spectrum, Sega Master System, Mega Drive, SNES, PlayStation 1, I guess, I guess that is an old school system. So we got to experience like the evolution of a market, we saw the changes with each subsequent technology advancement. We got to see something magical. We looked and we saw it and we just went, wow, that's fantastic. That was not possible with what we just have. I mean, I'm talking about, just from the Spectrum upgrading to the 1 to 8K Spectrum. So I generally regard retro gaming, even before I start talking about Japanese consoles, in such a high regard. It's such a part of my childhood, and I generally really have warm memories towards it. And it wasn't until this video I thought, am I getting too old for current gen? And I thought, well, no, because I still buy current gen. But then the more I watched this video, the more I found myself agreeing with Alex and almost feeling a little bit pissed off. Not with Alex, but with the way things have gone. Because right now, I honestly think that as good as there are in the gaming community is and stuff like that. I mean, the marketplace. Sorry, and there are fantastic games. Don't get me wrong, they're absolutely fantastic games I love on the current gen system. I honestly think a little bit of it has died. One of the first things I want to talk about that you mentioned in this video, that to me it's definitely making the current gen go sour, is the complete and utter pursuit of profit by the gaming companies. Now, I understand that they are businesses and that's what they've always been there for, but I can honestly say they never used to be there to this extent. There was always some sort of customer reward back and forth. You buy our games, we'll give you something. By that I mean, we understand what we have to provide you. Whereas right now it's, well, you expect this, but how much can we remove but still get away with? And that to me is just, it's cheap and it's callous. And this whole lack of manual thing, and it's not just the gaming community. I'm getting a camera for Christmas, an HD camera, and I gave it a quick test run to make sure it worked. And even that just said, if you want your manual, use this code and go here. And I'm like, no, I want a manual. And the argument was, but you could print it out. I'm like, but no, I just dropped £150 on this. I want a manual. Can you not throw me in a manual for that? And right, games are cheaper, but it never used to be like that. Companies used to pride themselves on manuals. Now, I know this is kind of a cheap point of this video, but I just want to show it because it pisses me off. This is a manual. Look at it. Look at it. It's utterly shiny and fantastic. And this wasn't a cheap game in the day. As Alex said, I find myself going back to more retro games, and my retro game collection is tiny, but when I do, I look at it and I get such a sense of appreciation from the game company, and just not just because I'm remembering something from my childhood, but I don't know, I just think there was heart invested in that. And then you look at this, and yeah, alright, it's EA, which are the biggest cash whores on the planet. And I know I bought this, so I guess I'm at fault, but I love Battlefield 3. But if you've seen this, technically there ain't a manual in the box. Technically the thickest thing in the box is my receipt. And that's wrong. And it's just, I don't know, people take some fucking pride in what you're doing. As Alex has mentioned, a very, very good point indeed, which is he goes, he would understand it if the fact that when they did this, they knocked like 10 or 15 quid off the price, but they don't. It's just a bunch of guys sat at a desk on a Monday morning with a CEO just going, right, how much more can we shave away? How much more can we chip off to maximise our profits? And that's sad. That's sad because to me, the packaging is as much of something I want to enjoy as the game, but you got these big bunch of corporate idiots deciding what is best for us. And I've said this before and I'll say it again, I'm the customer, I pay your wages, show me some damn respect. As for DLC, you know, I do download content, I do. The whole it's already on the disc thing, I can't overlook that, Alex. That really, really pisses me off because basically I've already paid for it and now I have to pay a code to release it. So surely that must be against trade descriptions or something, you know, that you make me pay twice. I can't overlook that. But yet at the same time I have downloaded it, so I guess I can't really complain. But what annoys me about this is I'm genuinely very scared. I say I'm very scared. I'm actually in full realization that the industry is trying to push it to such an extent that that's that's where it's going. You know, no physical copy. It's gonna be a digital copy only, and I don't care for that. I know they're gonna look at me and just go, well, if you play games, you're gonna do it anyway, and just accept the future of the industry. It's like, no, I want a physical copy. The day I can't walk down my high street and walk into a store, put money over a counter and walk away with a physical copy is sad. And again, I guess that goes back to my childhood, but when I was a kid, you know, you saved all your pocket money together and you took out a magazine, you went, that's the game I want, I've got enough money. This Saturday when I'm off school, I'm taking 2 buses downtown and I'm going to buy that. And I still have that feeling in me, you know, I still get excited when I go to buy a game, a physical copy. You know, I don't mail order or do it off Amazon, although I do stuff off Amazon. I still have that little intrepidation in me, which is, I've pre-ordered it. Will there be any copies? If there aren't, you know, what am I going to do? And I guess that makes me feel like being a kid, which makes me happy. So the day that you cannot walk down the high street and buy a physical copy, and I don't care what anyone says, that day is coming. That day will happen. Whether it takes 10 or 15 years, probably a lot sooner, that day will happen. You will not be able to walk down the high street and pick up a copy of the game you want. And it's going to go that way with movies as well. And that to me is, it's sad. Yeah, you still get the product, but half the enjoyment of the product is the acquisition of getting it. You know, the journey, what you have to do. How many people can tell a story about how difficult it was for them to get a specific game? Yet, even though it was difficult, years later when they look back on it, can remember how it made that game better. They consider it, you know, a brilliant memory. And when that gets removed, I just think gaming's going to become that little bit more sterile. A little bit more deprived of personality, because yeah, buying the game is one thing, but the journey is something else, the passion involved, and when that goes, it's a sad day. It's a sad day. Another really good point Alex makes, which is, and I feel the same way, from day one, but obviously just from the era I grew up playing games and it shaped me that way, I've always been, I want a single player experience first. I mean, I enjoyed online gaming from the early days of the PC, with Quake's one of my favourite games of all time. But first and foremost, I want a single-player campaign. Anything extra, anything, you know, like multiplayer is a bonus. But it seems to be that single players are drifting out of fashion because they know that, like the Call of Duties, and as much as I like the single players on the Call of Duties, it's not the way they want to market the game, because they know that it'll get more longevity out of a multiplayer campaign. And yeah, that is kind of killing current gen for me a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I love playing multiplayer. Good point he makes, good point Snestastic makes in his response to this, go and check that out as well, is when you're online with a private lobby with a group of people, you know, your mates that you online all the time with, it's such a fantastic experience. It's brilliant. And you won't trash talk, you'll heckle. There is a big difference, people, there is a big difference, you know. But when you go online now, and as Alex says, and you've just got a constant bunch of people just trash talking completely offensive shit. Now, I have to say one thing here, which is, I think a lot of the problems with modern online gaming is the baggage that comes with it that has never been addressed. You know, like I said, if you play online with your mates, it's an awesome experience, and you heckle each other, and that's fantastic. But when you play online in the general real world, you get trash talked to shit, and some of the stuff they say is generally offensive, racist, and homophobic, and that's wrong. But is enough done about it? Then you can't argue that, because is that a case of you know, freedom of speech and stuff like that? But it is definitely killing modern gen gaming to me. To a degree, because it's just, I don't go online to be insulted. And a good point Alex makes when he's playing Gears of War 3 and he's the last guy standing and he's not quite found a way to take down this person, and instead of the other people saying, dude, this is how you do it, I'll tell you how to shoot him, blah 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 blah, it's just got people telling you, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, aren't you done already, are you crap, are you crap, are you crap? And that's just like, well, what, you mean to tell me that you've never been in an experience in, or a situation in the game where you didn't know what to do, and so, yet you thought the most constructive thing was to sit there and rag on someone? Why didn't you just say, shoot him here, job done, you'll bump back into the next level? So much like Alex did, if that was happening to me, I would have walked away. So as I said, playing with your mates, brilliant. Playing in the mainstream, I just think there's a lot of people who, as much as they want to play it to experience the game, they want to be knobheads and assholes and be 100% negative and just pick on people and abuse people, and that's just wrong, you know. Can't we all get along? I've never understood this concept of to go out of your way to be negative. I've never got that. So to sum this up, do I feel myself kind of giving up on current gen? Not yet. I'm not, but I can honestly say I'm no longer 100% invested in it, because I'm not. Because of the great points Alex made and the points I made here and the points Nestastic made. I prefer, you know, I'm going to prefer my days of retro gaming, because obviously I grew up with that, so I have warm fuzzy memories that make me happy and smile every time I think about them. But I still like playing current gen. But there are a lot of issues with current gen, you know, that I honestly think are going to strangle it out. I think not everyone, you know, it'll still be a massive market, but I do think a lot of people are going to get fed up with the baggage that comes with current gen and, you know, just walk away, or just single player campaign. That's a good point I want to make as well, you know, because let's be honest, quite a large problem with current gen is just the shit you get online. But yeah, great topic, Alex. Where do I stand? Currently, I'm still hanging in there, but as I can see it right now, there are these problems looming on the horizon, and when they start to get closer, and part of my brain just goes, that's it, sunshine, give up. It's the death of how you loved games. I'll walk away, because I know markets change, I know companies change, I know people go after profit more than anything else these days, but I still hold somewhere in here how I think games should be, and chip by chip that's being removed, and I don't know, you know, it's not me walking away to make a statement, it's just I don't know if I'm going to enjoy where it ends up. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Go and check out Bluetonic78. Go and check out Nestastic. I'll put both their links in the doohickey down below. And thank you for watching. I'll see you later.